I'm back again. So, wow. Get this one. A person just tried to get an exemption for their son to get off the cashless debit card. So this is the exact words the lady's written. Failed attempt to get my son's exemption from Indue card because Indue says the card didn't cause his autism. No, the card didn't cause his autism. But I bet it's playing bloody havoc with it. How disgusting. How disgusting. The person is absolutely beside themselves about, I'm sorry, but they've got to take into account people's health. Autistic people do not perceive life the way that non-autistic people do. You know what I mean? They are not allowing for the impacts of this card on people that are of sound mental health or non on the spectrum people. So imagine what it's like for somebody on the spectrum. This is ridiculous. This is getting really too far. But this goes back to people who are trying to apply for the wellbeing exemption, being told that their previous medical issues that are being exacerbated by the card, right? It doesn't count because it's a previous medical problem. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sorry, but this is just getting way beyond drugs, alcohol, and gambling, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So this is an ongoing conversation that's going on in the support group at the moment. I'm just furious, okay? Because we've got people that have Asperger's, and we have people that have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and all sorts of issues going on. You know what I mean? Another person here says, I have Asperger's, ADHD, severe anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. And a social worker told me that my conditions don't qualify me for a medical exemption, and it's not possible for the card to cause her stress. Bullshit! Bullshit! Since when do Indue staff, have they suddenly become doctors, specialists, psychiatrists, psychologists, and people who help people with special needs? Since when have they got all these qualifications to say the card doesn't exacerbate any of these issues? Right? Because it does. Because it's affecting the mental health and the sound mind of people who don't have those issues. It's putting a lot of pressure on those that do. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people don't realise we nearly lost one, a few months back. A woman did try and commit suicide in our region, and do you know what they said the first time after she got through? A very judgmental bloke on the phone who didn't want to refer her to a social worker because he claimed her mental health issues were a previous medical condition and couldn't possibly be exacerbated by the card. They had the audacity to say that to somebody who then downed a bottle of pills and had to be resuscitated and mental health services brought in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And this person contacted me afterwards, literally hanging on. It took a couple of weeks before she even got to speak to a social worker. Luckily for her, she had a fantastic mental health support worker that was able to go through the process with her properly, and she did get an exemption. But she nearly died getting it. This is sick that they are dismissing people's health issues, mental health issues, people with on the spectrum, autism, Asperger's, ADHD, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's just previous, but everybody's got enough on their damn plate. Indue doesn't need to come in and chop their 2 cents worth in. You know what I mean? This is just ridiculous. They've got a lot of people by the short and curlies. Another person here, for the person to be able to appeal, which is the one that's got the Asperger's, ADHD, severe anxiety and panic attacks, right? They need evidence from a psychiatrist who is private, which costs $400 just to go to the appointment to get the evidence, right? And because their reports are over 2 years old, according to Centrelink, they have expired, so she can't use her previous medical reports, which is bullshit. Again, using poverty to keep people trapped on this damn card, knowing that they don't have the money, right, in the time constraints available to be able to just book in with a private psychiatrist or mental health worker or psychologist or special needs counselling or wherever people with, Queensland Care, I suppose, but I don't know whether this is a fact, but I just got a message the other day that Queensland Carers Harvey Bay have been defunded, and I know that friends of mine who had autistic kids were going there for support. So they're busy taking away the supports, and they're making it so that you can only go to private doctors. You can't afford it on New Start youth allowance or parenting payments. This is getting ridiculous. This is just getting ridiculous. We're dealing with people here that have complex medical needs and they need access to medical services, but they need to be exempt from the card. Pushing people to the edge, pushing families to the edge is just absolutely despicable. All for Indue to cling on no matter what, right? Once you've activated that card, they don't want to bloody let go for any reason. They don't care what state you're in. They don't care what state your family's going through. They don't give a shit. They've got the money for that, you being on that bloody card. That's all they care about. This is about corporate greed, right? And people are being shoved aside for corporate profit. I am getting really pissed off at this. And, yeah, and I'm reading comments here. Parents, this is wrong. This is so bloody wrong, you know. I'll be talking to this parent. She's a mess at the moment, and I don't blame her. It's not fair. It's not fair at all, you know what I mean? This is just so bloody wrong. Can't get an exemption because the kid's got autism. And if I remember correctly, I've spoken to this person before, and the person who with autism is not using the card, is just too afraid to use the card. You know what I mean? It's too stressful. It's not working for them. It's changed. It's I can't believe what they're doing. They're being. It's corporate greed, money above people. All right. Anything to keep that person on that card, to keep that person's money under control. Money, money, money. Pathetic. What are we becoming? What is Australia becoming? People need to start getting really angry. I will assist this person as much as I can, and I'll try and get her some help. And this is, of course, has got to be appealed, and it's disgusting. You know, but then again, let's not forget all those people in the eastern states that are on disability support pension, many of them in the same boat, are on the card and couldn't get exemptions. This is no different, is it? Right, the only difference up here is it's under the 36-year-old age group. So, and for people that are not on DSP, that should be on DSP as well. So they've got this all through before, and it's bypassed people. People haven't considered the effect it has on people. So let's not forget about all those people on disability support pension with whatever health issues they have, and mental health issues, or on the spectrum issues that they have that have been denied in the past, right? Because they're still out there, and they need to be recognised as well. But Indue staff, they don't have a heart, do they? They're so tactless. I mean, all right, it's classified as hearsay because I heard it from someone else in Kalgoorlie, where a parent with a severely disabled child was told straight up by Indue staff on the phone, well, if you don't like it, get a bloody job. And she's not in a position to get a job. She's on a carer's payment looking after a severely disabled child. She's got a job. 24/7, $365 a year for $2 an hour from the government. She's got a job. She's working hard enough. She's doing the right thing, and she's saving the government $60 billion a year because we don't have the services and the institutions that we had when they shut them all down, and they set up the system of, you know, allowing people to be cared for by their loved ones, and we'll just put them on a pension to do it instead of paying carers to do it. You know? Oh, I gotta go. I'm furious. This is just, I'm speechless. I am speechless. But then again, like I said, let's not forget all those in WA, South Australia, Kununurra, Kalgoorlie, the whole goldfields surrounding areas that are on the disability support pension, with many people in the same position as this person here. But, their actual words that they said. The card didn't cause his autism. No, it didn't. But it's bloody causing hell with him. You know what I mean? Gary says, the trouble is government have misled the public by focusing on drugs and alcohol and kids missing out, blah, blah, blah. But the public don't see the individual. They only see the dole and the drugs. That's it. Bingo. They forget about the rest of the people and the rest of the circumstances that people are on payments for and the reasons why they're on payments. Yep. It's called a smoke screen, and we've been calling it out for the last 4 years. It's a smoke screen. It's bullshit. It's not about drugs, alcohol, or gambling, because if it was, the money they'd be spending on Indue would be going into those services to get people the assistance that they need. Homeless services would be having the funding to provide housing for people to get stability, because that is the number one key thing. Give somebody a home, bring in the wraparound services around them, and help them get back on their feet and get them back into society normally. No, we have a system that's destroying all of that and hitting people over the head at the same time. It's frustrating, isn't it? And Gary, you've got your own issues that you have to deal with in your own bureaucracy with your situation. Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm out of here, but we will keep you posted on this one. I'm not going to let go of this one because this is pathetic. I'm getting sick of hearing more and more reports from people of the tone and the attitude that Indue staff are speaking to people. Indue staff are getting way too self-righteous. They're getting too cocky. You know what I mean? They because they're not trained to deal with people on Social Security, or they're not health professionals. They don't have a fucking clue. Excuse my French. And they're just being judgmental. Not all of them. There's a few of them out there, like the Indue bloke I met yesterday, but he's not working for Indue. He's working for the neighbourhood centre. You know what I mean? That just are doing the job and being as neutral as they can, right? But a lot of people aren't so kind to be so silent about their opinion. And a lot of them are very happy to snap down somebody's throat and throw out the neoliberal bullshit at somebody. I've got a headache. Wonder why. This is ridiculous. Thank you, Keith Pitt. This is how he looks after his constituents. This is how he represents his constituents, or doesn't, right? Because if anybody has a problem with the card, he doesn't refer it to his staff who go through Centrelink and help that person. Oh no, you just get a generic email back saying, call Centrelink or call the hotline. We don't want to help you. At least if people ring other senators, the Green senators and the ALP senators and stuff like that, they get some assistance. Yeah, I'll contact this person. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I saw that. And the government jumps on that, Gary, and they use that as a blanket. Whereas I tend to ignore it. If you saw my other video before about unemployment and New Start, I tend to let it go because, like I said to you on that comment, plenty of fish in the sea, mate. And we're not here to judge the reasons why people do what they do. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I can have the same thing and think, oh, wow, you lazy buggers. But on the other hand, why are they lazy? Why are they despondent? What's wrong? That's what I'm looking for, is what's wrong? What's caused that problem that they did that? Do you know what I mean? Because there's always more to a person than what you see on the outside. Anyway, I'll get off and yeah, we'll get stuck into trying to help this lady. All right, see you people.